A piece of wood of mass 0.03 kg is dropped from the top of a 100-meter high building. Okay. At the same instant of time, a bullet of mass 0.02 kg is fired vertically upwards with a velocity 100 meters per second from the ground. The bullet gets embedded in the wood. Then the maximum height to which the combined system reaches above the top of the building before falling below is. So let us say this wood is falling down and this bullet is going up. So at a certain height they are going to combine. Okay. So this building is 100 meters tall. So after they combine, they are going to move like a combined system. So let's say the bullet is now embedded into wood. They are going to move like a combined system like this. Alright. And they are going to be raised a certain height, or they are going to rise above the building to a certain height. Now this particular height has to be found out in the question. Alright. So let us put the bullet at the bottom of the building and wood at the top of the building. Alright. The first order of things over here is to find out at what distance and at what time are they going to collide. Okay. So how do we do that? We use equations of kinematics. The block of wood is moving in the downward direction. So the distance covered by the block of wood in the downward direction, and it is falling from rest, that is freely falling. So the distance covered by the block of wood is going to be given by S is equal to 0t plus half g t square. So this is the distance that the block of wood falls. So let us say I am labeling the block of wood by the number 1, then this is S1. This is essentially the displacement from the topmost point that the block of wood experiences. The bullet, on the other hand, moves from the bottommost point and goes up. Alright. So the bullet is going to essentially move up like so. And thus the bullet is going to travel a distance S2, and that distance S2 will be given as ut, that is 100t minus half g t square, because the displacement of the bullet is in the upward direction. So we are taking for the bullet the convention that this direction is positive, whereas for wood we had taken the convention of this direction to be positive while writing down the equation. Now we can clearly see that S1 plus S2, so this is S1 and this is S2. So S1 plus S2 is going to give us 100 meters, 100 meters being the height of the building. So the height of this building itself is 100 meters, and 100 meters is going to be S1 plus S2 as well. Considering that 100 meters is S1 plus S2 and adding these two equations together, we get S1 plus S2 is nothing but 100t, because this half gt square gets cancelled. We could have reached this point also by understanding that the relative velocity, once both of them are in air, they are falling under gravity, meaning relative acceleration is 0 because both of them are undergoing acceleration due to gravity only. So relative velocity is going to remain constant, that is relative velocity is going to remain 100 only. So we could have written this equation directly. So students who have more physical intuition can skip this step and directly write this step. S1 plus S2 is 100t, and S1 plus S2 happens to be the height of the building, which itself is 100. This implies that the time t after which they are going to collide is essentially 1 second. Once we have found out this time, we would like to find out what is the value of S1. So the value of S1 is going to be essentially 0t plus half g t square. So that means this S1 is going to be half into 10 into 1 square. That means S1 is going to be 5. From this equation we know that S2 naturally is going to be 95 because S1 plus S2 have to get added and combined together to form the height of the building, which is 100. Alright. Now given that this is the fact, we know that the combined system is essentially colliding at this location, which is 5 centimeter from the, or rather 5 meter, from the top of the building, and the bullet is traveling 95 meters and the wood is traveling 5 meters from the top of the building. Alright. So once this much is known, we would also like to find out the velocity of the combined system after inelastic collision. Completely and perfectly inelastic collision is happening over here. So we would like to find out the velocity of the combined system after this inelastic collision takes place. So we know that the wood was falling down. So what was the velocity of wood when it collided? So let's see. Velocity of wood is going to be, again, we are using the equation v is equal to u plus at. So it is going to be 0 plus 10 into t, which is essentially 10 meters per second in the downward direction. So the velocity of wood was going to be 10 meters per second just before collision. And the velocity of bullet, let us say what is the velocity of bullet. The velocity of bullet v2 at the time of collision is going to be 100. We are again using v is equal to u plus at, so it's going to be 100 minus 10 t. We know that at the time of collision t happens to be 1 second. So the velocity of wood is 10 and the velocity of bullet comes out to be 90. So the velocity of bullet over here is 90 meters per second during the time of collision. Alright. So now that they have embedded together and undergone an inelastic collision, completely and perfectly inelastic collision, when they do combine together, we can write down the momentum conservation equation as follows. Let us take the upward direction to be positive, and hence we get the mass of bullet into velocity of bullet plus mass of wood into velocity of wood is equal to the combined mass, which is mb plus mw, the combined mass, into the final total velocity. Alright. Now here mass of bullet happens to be 0.02 kg and the velocity of bullet happens to be 90 plus 90 in the upward direction, plus mass of wood happens to be 0.03 kg and velocity of wood happens to be minus 10. Alright, the combined mass happens to be equal to 0.05 kg, wood and bullet combined together, and the velocity final, this is what we have to find. So we can just multiply this equation with 100 and we'll be left with an equation which looks like this. 2 into 90 minus 3 into 10 is going to be 5 into Vf. In other words, this equation will be 180 minus 30 is equal to 5 Vf. Therefore, we get Vf is equal to 150 by 5, which is 30. Since we are operating in SI units, the answer is going to be 30 meters per second. So the combined velocity is basically 30 meters per second. Now, what we can do is we can find out how much does this combined system rise. So now the bullet is not shown because the bullet is embedded inside the block. So we can find out how much this combined system rises above the point of collision. We know that the point of collision is basically, as we have found out earlier, 5 meters below the top of the building. So from this position, how much will it rise? So in order to find out the rise, we employ the relation v square for the combined system is equal to u square plus 2as. Now, why do we employ this relation? Because we know that when the system will reach its highest point, then the distance traveled, this distance will essentially be h. Let's say this distance is h. Alright, this is not our final answer, but this distance we are calling as h, let us say. Okay. Then at the highest point, v is going to be 0. This we know. And a we already know it's minus g because it is under gravity only. And u we have just found out to be plus 30. So this is the final velocity after collision which we have just found out. So using this equation, we can figure out what is going to be h. So I get 0 square is equal to 30 square plus 2 into minus 10 into h. Therefore, this is equal to 30 square upon 2 into 10. This is going to be equal to h. Now, this gives us 90 by 2, which is 900 by 20, which is 90 by 2. So, h is going to be equal to 45. But please note that h is the height from the point of collision to the highest point, whereas we have been asked the height from the top of the building to the highest point. So this height 5 meters needs to be subtracted from the value that we have obtained in order to find the height above the top of the building that the combined system goes. Okay, so if we subtract 5 from here, we are going to be left with the answer 40 meters. So 40 meters is the answer to this question. Alright, this question could have been approached also from another perspective, and that perspective is possibly shorter, but it involves slightly more in detail and in-depth understanding of the concepts of physics. Let us say we are to talk about the center of mass. Now, the initial position of the center of mass, we can find out initial position, okay, when the block was at the top of the building and the bullet was at the bottom of the building. So let us say the initial position of the center of mass, if we were to find out, then the initial position of the center of mass would be, the block is over here, and let me draw a bullet for now. The bullet is over here, let's say. So the initial position of the center of mass is going to be, let's say, y center of mass. This will be from the bottom of the ground, from the bottom of the building, that is from the ground. Y center of mass is going to be 0.03 into 100, which is m1y1 plus m2. m2 is 0.02 into 0 for the bullet upon this whole thing divided by total mass. Total mass is 0.05. So this is going to be 60 meters. Okay. Velocity of center of mass. Velocity of center of mass is going to be 0.03 into 0, initial velocity we are talking about, plus 0.02 into the bullet was, remember, fired upward with a velocity of 100 meters per second. So this is going to be 0.02 into 100 divided by the total mass. The total mass happens to be 0.05. So this is going to be 40 meters per second. Okay. Now once we understand this, we also understand the fact that essentially the initial position of the center of mass is, let us say, 60 meters from the base of the building. Alright. So the initial position is 60 meters from the base of the building, somewhere over here. Okay. So this is the initial position of center of mass. And the velocity of the center of mass, initial velocity, happens to be 40 meters per second. See, so once we understand this much, we can easily see and easily write down what is the height traveled by the center of mass, because the center of mass is completely moving under the influence of gravitational force. So the center of mass is just moving under gravity. So we can write down V square is equal to U square plus 2AS, and let us say in place of V we put 0, because when the center of mass reaches the highest point it's going to have a 0 upward velocity. So let us say this center of mass reaches the highest point, it is going to have 0 upward velocity over here. V is going to be 0. Initial velocity was equal to 40. So 0 is equal to 40 square plus 2 into acceleration due to gravity is minus 10, because acceleration is in the downward direction and we are taking the upward direction to be positive. And this is the height which the center of mass rises. Okay, so this you can say hm is the height that the center of mass has risen above its initial level. Okay, so we can see that here hm is going to come out to be 40 into 40 divided by 2 into 10, so that gives us 80. That is hm. So hm is 80 and we are asked to find the height above the top of the building it rises. So we already know that the center of mass is located at a distance 60 from the ground. That means at a distance of 40 from the top of the building. So this height is going to be 40 as well, because these two heights combined are going to give us 80. So we can directly write down the answer to be 40 in this manner. So the smartness involved in this method of solving this particular question is the understanding or the physical intuition and the understanding of the fact that center of mass, once these two objects are released, the center of mass is moving just under gravity, and these two objects are going to get embedded with each other, they are going to get combined. So essentially the combined system, if it is rising to a certain maximum height h, let us say it's rising to a certain maximum height h, then the center of mass will also be rising to that maximum height h as well. So if we are just finding the initial position of the center of mass and the initial velocity of the center of mass, then center of mass is simply moving under gravity, and the height risen by the center of mass is going to be the same as the height risen by the combined system. So the height risen by the center of mass we were able to find out is 80 compared to its initial position, and hence the height above the topmost point of the building happens to be 40. So this would be a smart and quick way to solve compared to the earlier method. This would be a quicker method to solve this particular question. I hope we learned a lot in this particular analysis. Alright.